There's a white woman so full of damn hate that she sees a Black Lives Matter sign in somebody else's yard. She gets out of her car and she does this. Let's go to the picture. This person is full of hate. Look at her. That's called theft. That's called criminal trespass. This woman was so bold that she decided to basically pose for the camera at the residential property. This happened in North Carolina. A white woman is now subject to a criminal investigation after she stole a Black Lives Matter sign off another person's front porch. According to the local news affiliate, an unidentified woman trespassed on Melanie Larkey's property with the sole aim of removing the sign from her yard on Friday, March 11th, around 1:30 p.m. The ginger-haired woman got out of a black sedan and marched up to the grass and grabbed the sign. Before pulling up the sign, she waved at the camera. Then she retreated back to the car. The homeowner was in her house during the crime, but did not know anything was happening at the time. It was not until she reviewed her camera's footage that she became aware of the violation. Let's put up a picture of the homeowner. Her name is Melanie, okay? That's the homeowner. Melanie said when asked how she felt, she said surprised and unsettled are going to be the two words I'm going to use. It was really unnerving. Let me show you more pictures from the crime, okay? That is the front yard of a woman who cares about Black lives. That picture shows another woman who does not give a damn about Black lives. Miss Larkey recounted, she said her abrasiveness and walking into my yard and stealing something that did not belong to her. Then she even waved at the camera and then made some distasteful remarks. When she got back to the car she was in. The hate is unreal. So let's analyze this, all right? Let's be very clear. The person who grabbed that sign is a Trump supporter. I put my money on that. I don't know her political ideology based on some kind of voting history. I know it based on her behavior. That woman supports Donald Trump. There's a real connection there. Also, this is the same person, I guarantee you, who will say things like, we just want America to be free. Really? Isn't that something? You simply want people to have freedom. That's what this whole thing is about. Remember, they utilized that justification to do things like storm the US Capitol, impede the process of a constitutionally mandated dynamic, and also, even engage in criminality. But they say, well, this is all about choice in America. We want choice. Everyone will agree that going into a person's yard and stealing off of their property is wrong, it's illegal. Now, I gotta bring it out because what if the homeowner would have put some bullets in that body? What if the homeowner felt threatened? What if the homeowner came out and said, stop, and the person did not, and then they shot this woman? Do you think those on the right will say things like, well, you all have the right to bear arms, and in this case, we're glad that somebody was able to defend their property. Hell to the no. The reason is because they would have supported the woman who got shot in my make-believe scenario because they support stealing Black Lives Matter signs. There's more. The community of Starmount in South Charlotte, North Carolina, boasts approximately 2,800 people through its 2 zip codes. A predominantly Hispanic and white neighborhood, less than 7% of the people that live in the area identify as African American. That's according to citydata.com reports. Larkey believes the sign and conversations about race should not seem provocative. In fact, because of the lack of diversity within the area, it could serve as an educational tool. Larkey remarked, I can't figure out what it is about my sign that says Black Lives Matter so upsetting to other people. It has shown me, and a lot of the other neighbors have mentioned it too, that we need a discussion about race. Race and racial discussions in this country should not be provocative. They should be out in the open. People should be able to have a conversation about it. All right, so the police are still investigating. But listen, we've covered things like this before with even more damaging impact. I want to remind you, put up the pictures. I want to remind you, over the last 2 years, activists, supporters, allies with Black Lives Matter signs, they have been targeted. They have been targeted for harassment, intimidation, and hate crimes. We reported on the Minnesota white man who harassed an interracial family back in July of 2021 over their yard sign and their very existence. He ended up ramming his SUV into the front of their home, running away, leaving behind a teddy bear hanging from a noose inside of the SUV. Put up a picture of that criminal. His name is Benton Byers. Leading up to this incident, Benton Byers had reportedly been stalking the family. They contacted the police. The police did absolutely nothing. After this happened, which was an attempted murder, he was never charged with attempted murder. Instead, that guy, Benton Byers, was charged with 11 criminal counts, including 2 counts of second-degree assault, 2 counts of stalking, and 1 count of first-degree property damage. But he had been terrorizing that family for months, and the cops did nothing until the family almost died. Now you have to understand how deep the hate runs for people who are simply driving down the street, supposedly minding their own business, and a yard sign that says BLM or Black Lives Matter will cause them to immediately engage in criminal conduct. They have been radicalized. They are domestic terrorists. That is what they are. Jordan, what are your thoughts here?
When I first saw this clip, I was appalled at just how entitled this woman was, just marching up onto the yard, taking the sign and waving to the camera. And I'm one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube is watching like people pranking Porch package thieves. I don't know if you've seen these videos. And even in those, they're not even like as emboldened. They're just like, they're kind of sneak up, they run away. This lady just walked up, took the sign, waved and stormed off. And it really shocked me just how entitled she felt to take someone else's property, to walk onto their lawn, and what this ultimately says about her. And only to the privileged does equality feel like inequity. That is, this is somebody who is under a perceived attack, and those fears are stoked by right-wing media. And it underscores, the importance of shows like this, that you talk about these things and you bring these stories to the public, because you're not going to see these most other places. And at the same time, there's this right-wing effort to block these types of discussions in classrooms. Right. Racism and hate is a learned behavior. I like to think that it's not inherent in all people, and having these discussions in classrooms about this type of behavior, I think, is important. But the right wants to shut those down too, and that is because over time, politics in this country has shifted, where the singling out, the targeting, the harassment, the ridicule of our perceived enemy is an effective political strategy. So that's why, in part, why the right is fueling these bogus hysterias like critical race theory.
That's right. Yeah, very well said. They are making fake policies and saying this is the new boogeyman.